It's
hey
morphin' time.
Blog Talk Radio.
The following is intended only for mature audiences.
Hey everybody, what's going on? I have 3 words, and this is how I'm going to open the show. Jason, David, Frank. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
What else do you need to say?
Exactly. What else do you need to say when the one and only Tommy Oliver, Jason David Frank, is going to be here? He was the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, and then the Red Zeo Ranger. I mean, this guy is like a Power Ranger icon. No offense, Karen.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, no offense taken. He is like my hero and
absolutely.
A very good friend of mine. So I am very honored and so excited to talk to him. We haven't talked in a minute, and I know he's excited to call in and talk to the fans. And he's, other than Power Rangers, I mean, he's done some amazing, amazing work as an actor. So I want you guys, we're going to talk to him obviously about Power Rangers, but we're also going to talk about all the things he's doing now, which is even more impressive. So I'm busting at the seams. You just don't even know.
Oh, I know. I'm busting at the seams. Different seams than yours, I'm sure.
Katrina is terribly excited tonight. And if you guys are just tuning in for the very first time, this is Unscripted Radio. My name's Mike J, and we do this little thing, a little radio show every night, 9 p.m., Monday through Friday, with Miss Karen Ashley. Say hello.
Hello.
And Miss Katrina Johnson. Where are you?
Howdy. In the house.
And, of course, Mr. Jeffrey Emmett. He's here, too. What's going on?
¿Cómo está, kids? Are you freaking excited? I'm a little devastated Michael couldn't spend the big bucks and play the Power Ranger theme song to open us up, but
that's okay.
You know what, Saban?
We've heard that so many times.
Sorry, you guys. If you want to hear it, go on to YouTube where they can't sue me. So, and also, a shout-out.
Insert song where needed.
Yes. I want to give a shout-out to our new intern producer. Scott is here with us tonight. He's going to be taking your calls when you're trying to get on air. So jot this number down, 417-6705. Just make sure that you push 1 because that's how Scott's going to know that you actually want to talk, and be nice to him. Don't chew his head off. Don't yell at him. Just, we'll get you on. Everyone
take care of our boy.
As best we can, yeah. Yeah, don't make our intern angry. We need him too badly.
Mm-hmm. Need him bad.
Oh, good times. Good times.
Good times.
So, I totally just spaced out there for a minute.
It's okay. Katrina, how are you feeling? You were on your deathbed.
Yeah,
I was on my deathbed yesterday, but I've been brought back to life with the news of our most gorgeous guest today. So, I did what I needed to do. I rested, and I am powered up, ready to go.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I'm ready.
She was like near death's door, and just the thought of Jason David Frank pumped her back to life.
They popped a few things, and definitely breathed new life into this decrepit body. I was running on the treadmill today, took a hot bath. I was thinking about questions I was going to ask him. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that most of his female fans think of him when they're in the bathtub, so I'm sure that I'm not the only one.
Your questions will be right on point.
Oh, yeah.
We all actually prepared. Like, we have company today, so we actually prepared for the show.
Oh, I know. We're like being all professional tonight. It's crazy. We're all texting and tweeting before the show, making sure all our ducks are in a row. But, a couple of things I just want to get out there for our first-time listeners is that, this isn't just a one-time unique show. We're here every night, and if you're tuning in for the very first time, I posted a link in the chat room a little bit ago for a certain trivia contest that you guys can enter where you can win your very own copy of an autographed photo for Miss Karen Ashley, Aisha, the Yellow Power Ranger, and soon-to-be very, very famous star of a little TV show called all grow up already.
Grow up already.
Damn it.
He's like always trying to mix it with all that and grown-ups and all.
I know it all just rolls into one. And
at least you have a name.
Right. At least I'm not what's her face.
What's her face?
I've been occasionally referred to as what's her face.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
You can win a autographed photo of what's her face too. So make sure that you get over to our website. That's unscriptedradio.com. And if you are in the chat room, I am throwing that link up right now, as well as the link to Miss Karen Ashley's Grow Up Already Facebook page. I encourage you guys to check that out and click like.
Which also stars Katrina Johnson.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
You know, what's her face is in there too.
What's her face is in there, and she is like, pretty hot and tempting in there. She's a gorgeous girl.
Well, that's right.
You know, this is the thing. Like, I'm in there. Elisa Reyes is on Grow Up Already. Katrina Johnson, Annalise Vanderpool from That's So Raven. So, I mean, it's pretty much like this show of beautiful women, and pick your flavor. We're all different flavors.
Yeah, we taste the rainbow.
Right. Rainbow Ranger, you got to know about the flavor.
Yeah.
What happened to Rainbow Ranger? He disappeared on
Well, my flavor is a rainbow because he's green and white and what was the other color?
Red.
Red, yeah. He's like the color of the Mexican or Italian flag.
I was just going to say, that's the Italian Ranger right there.
Right.
Italian stallion. Oops.
It's okay, that's what I was thinking. Go ahead. I was thinking it.
I know, I was like...
Make it 5 minutes?
No.
Not even 5 minutes. You know what, I was wondering why you were so quiet, Jeff. I was like, Jeffrey is way too quiet. When is he going to chime in?
No, Jeffrey's
that's because Mama's a little drugged up. You know, I got the back out today. It's been horrible. Out of all days for this to happen. So I'm like, what do? I got to take a painkiller. I'm going to be on the radio with Jason David Frank, and I'm going to be like, so, tell us about your time on that Saban show. What was it called again? VR Troopers? I mean, I was just so concerned.
You sound the same. I don't know what the problem is.
We're used to you lit one way or another.
Exactly.
Years of practice, baby. Years of practice. Mama does not play. You just got to pull it together. I'm like, all right, I've got an hour where I've got to be coherent, and then I'll drool myself up the stairs.
Exactly.
I like it.
I love it. I know, and he's acting like his painkiller isn't more than the propofol he usually takes, so stop tripping.
Excuse me, my name is not Michael Jackson. Thank you, and good night.
No, I'm just joking, kids. Say no to drugs. I used to be a member of Dare not to do them. So we joke, we kid on this show.
We do an awful lot, yes. And as you guys heard in the intro, it does say for mature audiences only. It's a little disclaimer that we have to throw out there because if you've listened to some of our other shows, occasionally we tend to go into the gutter very quickly and very deeply. So, you know, the legal folks make us put that out there. Mainly Mr. Scott Glickman because he's all about the FCC. And quite frankly, I'd love to just tell them to bite my left butt cheek. And that
you know what I gotta say to the FCC? Can I drop it already? Can I drop it?
Go ahead.
No,
ahead.
hold it in.
All right, I'm gonna hold it in until Jason gets on the line, and then I'm telling you, kid, it's on.
I know. Well, don't let it all hang out then either. Hold it in till we hang up.
Right, we got company tonight. We gotta be on our best behavior.
For goodness sake.
Don't you go ruining my chances with the Italian flag ranger.
I thought you were going to say something
This needs to be a positive experience for him, okay?
I know. You know, Katrina has ulterior motives tonight, so she wants
I'm
to make
about
sure
as transparent as cellophane.
Well, I see the kids going nuts in the chat room. They're like, oh, leave it to Jason to be late. Kids, he's not late. We're doing a little opening.
No, Karen is
going to be joining us momentarily, so just simmer down, children. He's coming. Just think of your questions now, because maybe if you're good children in the chat room, we'll ask him some of your questions for you live on air if you don't have the chance to call in.
Exactly.
I know we have some folks from the Netherlands in the chat room. I saw it earlier today. I was like, no shit.
Exactly. And you know what, guys? This is the thing. Once we get to the questions and we get to the callers, we're going to try to get as many people to be able to get on and call. So don't, I know you guys have your 8-part questions, and you got a lot of things you want to ask Jason. He's a very cool guy. So, you know what, let's keep the questions simple so that we can get as many people on the line and as many people can talk to him and connect with him, because he's such a great person. I want you guys to know about everything he's doing now. I want you guys to know about everything he has coming up. He's such a busy guy. He's got so many businesses and so many things that are amazing. Like his life, I know you guys know him best from Power Rangers, but his life beyond Power Rangers is even much more extraordinary. So my thing is let's get him, on. Let's get him talking and make sure that, we get as many questions as possible. So I'm not trying to be the spoiled sport, but I'm just saying, we'll ask as many as we can off the chat line, but also, we'll try to get to as many as we can, okay?
Karen is the Democratic one of the show, and she just wants to make sure that there is enough Jason David Frank for the rest of the class.
Exactly. We got to have enough of him to go around, so make sure.
Well, you better get in line because I'm taking my bite first.
Oh, boy.
I wanted to ask him some questions like, is he single?
Is that what it was?
That's all. That's all it meant.
That's all that meant. Yeah.
That's all.
I think you represent like all the women of the world who have dreamed about
Who have ever seen him fight? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, he's like a beast. But what's funny is when we get him on, you're going to get to meet him. He's the kindest, sweetest person you'll ever meet. And then he turns into this beast in the ring. It's the craziest thing.
I'm all about it.
I know. And you know what? We are about to have him on any second. So, guys, we're just doing a couple things on our end, but we're about to pull him on any second. So make sure you start shooting your questions through the chat line. Make sure, you guys get it going, because we want to make sure that we, get all of you on the air. So don't call over here stuttering. You guys better be ready.
Come correct.
I know.
That's right, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you call up and stutter on this radio show, bitches, I'm hanging up on you. I'm just
We're going to mute
you now.
your ass.
And I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. If you're an asshole when you call in, I'm going to hang up on you. And then I'm taking notes. I got your phone number. I'm going to come to your mama's house and kick your ass. You hear me?
Oh, Lord.
Whoa.
I say that with love. I'm going to need Jason to be my bodyguard after this. You realize this, right? Like, I'm going to be getting my ass
that's
kicked.
true.
Yeah, I know, right? That's funny. So, but there's so many things that it's just going to be pretty amazing. So, give us a few more seconds, and we'll have him on shortly. I know you guys are chomping at the bit, and I know everyone is going crazy on the. I see everybody on the chat room. It is hilarious all the questions. I don't know that we've had this many questions. I think we're going to crash the system in a second.
We probably will. Send your complaints to Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, don't send us anything. We don't want any of that. Jason Frank will
be
on
on
the line in
you
about 2 to 3 minutes. You can send them to Blog Talk and say it was Mike J's fault. That's all.
I know. Under the bus. I see how it is.
I think that's where you belong. It's a good spot for you. You fit nicely.
Yeah.
I belong under something, but it's not a bus. I'll leave it at that.
Right.
Is it kind of like you must be this tall to ride this ride, but you must be this small to get Mike J's phone number?
Oh. Maybe not this small,
Ouch.
but maybe this tight.
Ouch.
Okay, well, moving right along.
And I'm
going to save that sort of talk for when our special guest comes on. I'm really excited to ask him where he spars and if I can join.
Okay, that sounds good. I think that's a great question. I think that's a great question. Yeah, I remember getting on the show back in the day, and you guys know I was no martial artist, and basically him, Steve, Johnny, they really, really, really helped me. So, he's amazing.
You look like a pro to me. I'm surprised.
That's funny.
There's just something intriguing about a man that's way more flexible than I am that can do the splits in like a million different ways standing up.
Right. He can do, yeah, exactly.
Challenge.
Exactly. Exactly. There's something about that. It's very interesting. Very interesting. So
and I think that is why you should. I think that's why you should probably think about him like I did in the bathtub.
So tell us a little bit more about these bathroom thoughts, Katrina. We're dying.
Well, I was thinking of, obviously the sparring, because I would like to spar with him. I think that could lead to very good things. And I was wondering if he got more ladies with the long, luscious Fabio Power Ranger locks, or if he's more popular with the girls now with his more sleek, buff, tattooed, looks like more of a bad boy.
That's a good question
nowadays.
Because I personally like him now. I personally think his look now is he's borderline, he's edgy. It's he's infamous, edgy, but yet he was the boy next door on a TV show. Very interesting.
And now he's just straight hotness.
I know.
I mean, I can relate. I was the girl next door, and now I'm sheer hotness, and that's why we should hang out.
Well, look, you need to put your hotness on hold, because guess who's in the house?
Guess who's in the house, everybody?
Right now.
Jason, David, Frank is in the house. What's up?
What's up? How are you guys doing? Good?
We're good. How are you?
We're excellent.
Good.
Excellent.
I was on the call, and you guys were talking about DARE, and I was like, what does DARE stand for? And no one answered me. I guess I thought then you guys couldn't hear me. So I was maybe thinking you all didn't want to answer that question. I don't know.
We forgot.
Drug Abuse Resistance Education Program. I remember the good old days of DARE.
See? See how great he is? See how great he is? Oh.
That's awesome.
Well, Jason, I want to introduce you to everyone. Of course, you know me. I'm your best friend, Karen Ashley.
You are?
And then and we have Katrina Johnson. We have
Hello.
Jeffrey. And we've got Mike J.
Hey, how
are you guys doing?
We're good.
Excellent.
And we're what you call the crazy show, Unscripted Radio.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy to be on. I appreciate you inviting me onto the show and stuff like that. So I had a few, right before this, I was just doing a few Skype lessons. I promised some people, and I was working with Che and Thomas Bradley from, I don't know, I keep forgetting where he's from. It's way overseas. So I had a couple of those real quick, and then I got this Kentucky thing tomorrow. So I'm actually happy you guys invited me on the radio, Karen, because I miss hearing your voice. I haven't heard your voice in a while, so I know you're up to some good stuff. So I'm glad you guys put me on the radio tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we're so happy you're here. You just don't even know, and it's so great to hear your voice. I feel like, I think the last time we saw each other was Morphicon, and that's way too long. Way too long.
Has been. It has. But it's weird, with the Facebook nowadays, I see your picture everywhere, so I kind of still feel like we're in contact. It doesn't feel, it doesn't feel that long ago. It really doesn't. But then I'm thinking I did this interview for Hula and Amazon, and I was talking about it, and they're like, so what's going to happen for this 20-year anniversary? I'm thinking, 20-year anniversary? That guy's high or something. He must not hear of DARE, America. But I was thinking 20 years, but yeah, it's going to be 20 years. I mean, when the show first aired, that's crazy. To me, that's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. I mean, Jason, tell everyone, because, obviously we're talking about Power Rangers. It was all of our big break. I mean, how did that show change your life? I know how it changed mine, but how did it change yours? I mean, you are, the biggest, most popular person from the show. Let's just say that.
Thanks.
I mean, seriously.
I think my character,
I'm your biggest fan.
Well, I think that, I really think that had a lot to do with me being evil, but I also thought that had a lot with my character, being the Lone Ranger, really sort of say, kind of being alone. I think that a lot of people related to that, like people, new kids that move into school, they don't have friends, and that's kind of like what Tommy was, and I think that the script writing of being evil and losing powers, you had that everyone, I feel so sorry for Tommy. So I think that's the reason why, it became my character became popular. But obviously, it is who we are. So I never denied who I am because, my Facebook fans and everybody out there, it's what we've done. That's what people are going to remember me by. I had a fan say something about Amy Jo, and he's like, Pink Ranger. It's like, I don't run from that show. I'm pretty proud of the show at that time.
Me too.
And this time, so it just changed my life. I think I was talking in an interview today from Lexington, and I was telling him that it just kind of changed my life because, when I'm having a hard day, like today's a hard day for me, all right? Like, and not everything's cheery in Angel Grove there, you know what I mean? Not everything's cheery smiles all the time.
Tell the truth.
I think what happens is it gives you that drive to kind of still be that role model and still go after your dreams. And I was explaining to him that everybody's got to go through the trenches in order to have a good success story. How can you have a good success story when you're born into royalty, like Paris Hilton? I mean, no offense to her, but you know what I mean? You're kind of born into royalty, and you just end up getting in trouble. So I think everyone is, starts from the valleys, and then they go to the mountaintop. But you're going to, either stay there or go back down the valley. But my point is everybody's got to work hard for what they want to do. And you're passionate about what you do. I was passionate about what I do. There's just sometimes you got to go after your dreams and do what you want to do. I love acting. It's changed my life. But karate has always been a big part of my life. Yeah. So that's kind of like my plan B, although right now it's plan A for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
plan MMA?
Yeah, MMA, plan A, MMA, yep. So, but it's been good, and it's just changed my life. I think to this day, I was telling them earlier, it's weird because they said, what do I want out of the Lexington Con? What do I want to leave with an impression of fans? Like, what do people want when they leave Karen to say, well, what do I know about her? Well, from what I know, people say you're sweet, and even people that just meet you are like, oh, my gosh, she's so sweet.
Aww.
I want, honestly, when people meet your superhero or your star, it's got to be a good, first impression, or it's just going to be like, dude, I don't want to meet that dude. You know what I mean? He was my childhood hero, and he shunned me and didn't take time with me. So what I want people to leave with is, hey, that guy's cool, he's down to earth, just like you have always been. Even when you started the show, I was so excited when you started the show because I was leery on a lot of people, and they picked you three, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. All you guys were pretty cool. Johnny Bosch, we got along really good. You always been sweet, brought such a, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on your radio show, all right? You brought such a...
no, I know you would keep it real.
No, for real, I am keeping it real, but, you brought that, even when I was stressed out, you always had that peace, love, joy, happiness thing, and I started thinking, man, maybe she just, living this Power Ranger life even after when she leaves set, but I certainly know I'm not. It's not all smiles and happy, but you always been full of smiles ever since I've known you, and I know we both had our hard times and going through stuff, but ultimately I keep it real because I try to keep God on my mind and, put with the Jesus and Tap Company, and I just feel that, when you're having a hard day, and you're alone and you're not on Facebook, you don't have, Facebook fans, you got God to talk to, and I just try to, remember that I'm here as a role model for everyone, and you just gotta step up to the plate because now these kids aren't kids no more. They're women, they're men. They're like, girls come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, you were my first crush, and I'm like a woman. It's not like a little girl no more, And the boys are.
Well, you're my current crush.
I'm like, I tell them, shh. Dude, when you say I used to watch you on TV when I was a kid, you got to keep that on the down low, all right? I don't want to give my age away. Just keep it on the down low. You know what I mean? so it's pretty funny, though. But it's definitely changed my life.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I know everyone on the line is, like, super anxious. Who's jumping in with the next one? Because I know we've got a million questions, and I know the fans have them, too.
Oh, I think Katrina needs to go next because this girl has been salivating for days. I'm just saying.
Dying to talk to you.
Same.
Okay, so my first question is, would we be able to arrange a sparring session? I qualified for the Olympics in Taekwondo, and you said your main form of martial arts is karate?
Yeah, it just I'm not saying that in a bad. I was working out with one of my partners in California, and I was like, dude, I'll fight anybody. I don't really care. I don't care if it's a kid. I don't care if it's a woman. I don't care if it's an old man. I was saying that to him, right? And this old man right next to me was lifting weights, and he was like 70, and he kind of looks over at me like, did you say me? And I was like kind of sitting there going, dude, I'll fight anybody. That's just funny you say that. But, yeah, martial arts, Shotokan has been my base, but now really I've kind of mixed it into mixed martial arts and, jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, So, but I'd love to spar you, not a problem at all.
I would love to because I figure it'll take you about, 1.5 seconds to get me on the ground, and it usually takes at least 2 dates. So I'm on a time-saving mission, and I think that would be great.
So that's a different. I talk about the MMA. You're talking about ground and pound in MMA. Okay, I got you. I got you.
No, she's just talking about getting closer to you. That's all she's talking about.
Like, you know,
yeah,
I have very important journalistic questions. Like, what cologne do you wear?
All right.
Yeah, women would like to know that. What cologne do you wear, Jason?
The cologne. Well, I used to wear Attorney, but what's that Abercrombie, that shop that you pass by? You smell that cologne all the time.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
That's it. That's the cologne I wear.
All right. See?
Yeah.
We find out
perfect.
obscure things. See? Perfect.
No one's ever asked that
question. So when
anybody
wants to feel close to you, they can just go walk through Abercrombie and Fitch. There you go.
It's kind of weird though, because you know they got these like little boys standing outside modeling with their shirts off and stuff, and they're just kind of out there smiling, you know. They do like models. It's kind of weird, but you gotta know when you walk past that place, man. You smell it. You know what I mean? It's just built-in advertising. I don't know if it's in the walls and the air conditioner vents, but man, you smell that stuff. But that's what I wear.
No, you know.
They've drenched it.
They drenched it. I know, totally.
I have a question.
Employees, they go around and spray it every hour onto the clothes.
Do they really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
They do.
Of course,
now, you mentioned something when you were talking earlier about Jesus Didn't Tap, and I want people to know about that, your clothing line and the clothing line you're working with, because that's a pretty amazing story and company. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I will. You know, everyone's pretty much behind me on the Jesus Didn't Tap. I will say, though, if you're new to my Facebook page, don't be surprised that you see Jesus Didn't Tap. Don't ask me to make a shirt without Jesus Didn't Tap, because JDF belongs to JDT, so they go together. Sorry, fans, it's the way it is. And I know maybe only one fan out of 50,000 asked that. But anyway, I started Jesus Didn't Tap Company. And to be honest with you, Karen, I started it and I stepped out. I stepped away from it. I wanted it to grow with the world champion Jesus. I wanted it to grow. I wanted to step behind the scenes. I didn't want to be known as, this is a Power Ranger clothing line. You know, we were in UFC. We've been everywhere. It was a worldwide distribution on we distributed through online stores. I'm talking about the UK, Australia, everywhere. You know, Africa, in Singapore. I heard they were slanging illegal Jesus Didn't Tap shirts on the streets, literally.
Oh, my gosh.
And they asked how I felt about that, and I said I feel happy, because if you do that with Adidas and Nike, that means I made it. So you can slang all the shirts you want over in Singapore and Indonesia, which I'm totally fine with that. So I started the company, and then what happened was, and I don't really know if I told a lot of people this, but what happened was I stepped away. I didn't step away. I just wanted the company to grow. Well, it became big, and then UFC Super Show Expo contacted Jesus Didn't Tap to have a booth there. And then they said, well, we want to speak to the CEO. And I was like, ugh, I've been behind the scenes. I've been pretty humble. It's been taken off. I don't, okay. So then they introduced me. Then they were like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe you're the Power Ranger guy that started this. So then that rolled over to some publicity. And the reason why I didn't want to step in front of the name is it's just Jesus. I don't want to Jason David Frank's company, this is Jesus Didn't Tap. I wanted it to kind of grow on its own. A lot of people ask the same questions. You're just, making all this money. I'm not sitting on a yacht in the Bahamas somewhere, which I'd love to, but I'm not. It takes millions of dollars to run a clothing company. We're still, in the red. We're getting out there everywhere right now, though.
Yeah.
And I have big plans to do things with the money. I want to donate to churches. I want to do inner city schools. There's a lot of stuff I want to do with, but a lot of people ask what Jesus Didn't Tap means. And I wrote 2 songs, which Karen, I'm not a writer. I wrote rap songs. I'm not a rapper. I'm not Eminem. But I wrote
back in the
2
day
rap
we used
songs
to rap,
that you can download on the what is it? The iPod, whatever. You know what I mean? You could
iTunes.
You can download on iTunes. I wrote the lyrics for
what
Jesus
are they
Didn't
called?
Tap, 2 songs. But the reason why I didn't step in front of it is because everything came to me in dreams. I woke up, wrote the song. You woke up, designed the shirts. Woke up, so the stuff wasn't coming. It was just coming through me, as far as designs and songs and all this stuff. And I think it was just God saying, look, this is what you got to do. Well, the first day it was out in UFC, we had about 80 pages on SureDog of controversy on why we want Jesus in the ring. The Army kicked me off the mat, which is the Army, which I did One Nation Under God. So once UFC allowed me and Tap Out allowed me to go on their shirts, then a lot of other people were allowing me to go. But the simple term for Jesus Didn't Tap is that he didn't give up, he didn't quit for all of our sins. Someone said, well, he couldn't tap because he was nailed to a cross. Well, that's why I wrote my second song that says that he could have tapped, snapped that cross anytime. Read the word, I read mine. I wrote a little rhyme. Basically, you can tap verbally and yell tap, tap, tap. So it doesn't mean that, because your hands, you're not tapping. You can tap verbally, and I'm not going to get religious or anything, but Jesus could have called hundreds of thousands of angels to help him, and he didn't. So it is what it is, and, I don't preach religion on anyone because I think it's between yourself. It's between you and God. I don't say I live a perfect life because we all know there's been things about me that, people try to make worse of it, and it is what it is, and I think it's a private relationship between you and God, and I try to fulfill that, at least that role model as being the CEO of Jesus and Tap and getting the clothing line out there. So that's kind of, I don't know anything about clothing lines. I do know about business, though, and I do know that Jesus is the most famous fighter of all times around the world. Spencer's and Hot Topics came to me and told me that it's not more mainstream. So, of course, I came back with, I'm a firm believer in statistics on businesses and statistics. I came back with them that 83% of the U.S. is Christian-based. Doesn't mean they live that way. We all know we don't live that way, perfect. But, 83% is Christian-based. In Brazil, 99% of people are Christian-based. So Hot Topics and Spencer's, go eat that because that's the true stats and the statistics of Jesus and Tap.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Statistics,
That's awesome.
Statistics definitely don't lie. But, I want to just throw it back to Power Rangers just for a second, if I could, because one of the things that the folks that listen to the show and that are always in the chat room, they love to hear are the audition stories. And we've heard Karen's story, and we've heard the other folks that have been on our show. I'm just curious what it was like for you auditioning for Power Rangers.
Well, I'll tell you kind of the whole version of it because I always kind of beat around the bush a little bit. And in a nutshell, not too long because I know I'm a talker, Karen. Okay, sorry. What more can I do except talk? What if you had me on the show and I was just like, yes,
That's happened.
Maybe.
It's happened. It's brutal.
Okay, so
we love it. They're eating it up they're eating it up in the chat room. Trust me, we love it. Tell them the story.
That's good. All right, so I wanted to be an actor. I've always acted up my whole life. My mom says you're acting up, so I thought I was an actor. So I was like, perfect. I'll be an actor. And the drama kids in the family are the ones that end up being an actor because I trained with a guy by the name of Howard Fine, I think one of the best acting coaches out there in Hollywood, Howard Fine, and he gave me a story and told me this story about a kid. Like he told me, he was in a family and they met and the proper kid was like, yes, sir, I want to be the actor. And he's looking at this kid. Well, they have this other bratty kid that's under the table, not listening, crying, being drama because his spaghetti wasn't made right, and Howard instantly thought, he's not the actor. The one under the table is the actor. So that confirmed me as a child. Well, you know what? I acted up my whole life, so now I'm going to be an actor because my mom used to say you're drama, and I'm a little drama. So I think I can put that to use. So being an actor, coming into Hollywood, I did some modeling and stuff. I did a modeling shoot. I don't know if anyone can find the picture. If anyone can research this picture, my character's name was Jason Barnes. It was in Teen Life magazines, Teen Beat magazines at the time. We had a small ad. I was riding a skateboard doing karate. My stage name was Jason Barnes for whatever reason, and it was called a company called Olive Pit Productions. That was the name of it. Well, we shot, tons of pictures, and I got to tell you, my whole family ordered everything. They ordered posters and shirts. The only problem is Olive Pit Productions never produced anything. They just closed their doors and took all the money and disappeared. So that was my modeling days, right? Now, I got paid all right money at the time. I was a kid, like 12, 13, 14, got paid like $1,200 a day to do the shoot. So I was like, I thought that was banking for me as a kid. I was like,
you were rich.
Yeah,
You're balling.
Yeah, so I did modeling. Then there was and I don't think I've told this story to anyone before, but there was a movie called American Street Fighter. I'm not too sure if that movie's out there. It's not the video game. It was called American Street Fighter. And I was about 18 years old before Power Rangers. And this Asian producer came up to me and said, I want you to, be in this movie. And I was like, perfect. It's, a karate movie. I had long hair, had a ponytail at the time. I was ready to rock and roll and get on with stuff. And so I read the script. And all of a sudden there was this weird sex scene in this movie, but it wasn't like naked or nothing, but it was like I'm talking on your hands and knees, bark like a dog kind of scene, right? So I read the script, and I so bad wanted to be an actor. I was thinking, oh, dude, should I just sell out and do this because I really want to act? It's not like, you know, a naked scene, but it's just kind of weird. Like, and so I asked the girl, hey, in this movie, who's this girl that's playing this role? I mean, I just want to know because, I mean, I know it's not that bad. And she said that was her. So instantly I got scared because I was young and she was older. So I was like, forget that. I ain't doing the movie then because she's going to make me like, oh, bark like a dog. I just don't like that line. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in no weird position and say bark like a dog. All right? It's acting. But for me, I don't want to act that bad. So that job went away. Then I did another job. These are all jobs that could have been, but I couldn't. Right. I worked in martial arts. If any of you guys are martial artists, you know there's a code of rank. They pull rank on you. If you're a higher rank, you can't do something if they say no. Well, I worked at a karate school, Red Dragon Karate at the time. Booked a yogurt commercial. I was excited I booked this commercial. I was so excited I told my instructor, I probably won't mention names just in case. I told my instructor, hey, I got this commercial, and he said, you're not going. And I was like, what do you mean, sir? He's like, you're not going. I need you tomorrow. So then again, I had to stay there. So I got calls from this production company before I started Power Rangers. I know for a fact I've never told a story in my life, ever. And so
cutting news.
So I got a call. Well, you guys let me talk. So I got a call on the machine, and it was like a call from the production company. Well, we're looking for Jason Frank. Wasn't David at the time. We're looking for Jason Frank, and he's not on set, and you know, so then it called again. So finally I picked up the phone, and they were so angry at me. They said, you're holding up I think at that time, $100,000 production. You know, we need you for this commercial. I was like, sorry, I can't do it, so I hung up the phone. So I just felt like there's my dreams of Hollywood just shattered. I couldn't do a movie. I couldn't even do a yogurt commercial. I probably didn't even like the yogurt I was going to taste anyway and just really be an actor and be like, yummy yogurt. So I couldn't do that commercial. So I went to I had long hair, keep in mind. Everybody in karate had long hair at the time. So I had long hair. I went to a company called Kids Agency I know it was Bethany was her name. I won't mention last names. But I went there, and I came in with long hair, and I said, hey, I'm looking for representation. I had a few things that fell out, and they're like, yeah, okay. First of all, you sit down, and I'm, you know, and they're telling me, you know, that's how casting directors are. Be quiet, sit down, tell me your name. It's just kind of rude. I'm from the martial arts world, you know, and I was thinking, well, you know, a please would be fine. But then I realized, welcome to Hollywood, so I just took a seat. She said, sit down. So I said, what's your name? I said, Jason Frank. She goes, let me ask you a question. Do you really think you're going to book a show with that long hair? I said, well, yeah, man. I always grow my hair out and stuff. She goes, you don't look like the kid next door. You don't look like the average kid next door. I need you to cut your hair and get some headshots. And I was like, oh, my God, really? I got to cut my hair? So I went out, and I really wanted to be an actor. So I wasn't barking like a dog because I turned that show down. I wasn't eating the donkey yogurt, you know, because I didn't do that commercial. So I decided to cut my hair. And to be honest with you, I felt naked cutting my hair. I cut off my ponytail. I cut everything off. So I went back with a buddy of mine who sued me. I won't mention his last name. Art was his name. He don't deserve the last name. But I went back with him, and I got sued so much from Power Rangers. But got back, went with him, and I saw Bethany, and I said, here you go. And she's like, okay, we'll put that down on my desk. She was booking a big Coca-Cola commercial for someone. So I was kind of getting mad. I was like, okay, look, I cut my hair. She's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't know what to tell you. I'm booking a commercial. You need to be on hold. So she put me in the hallway. So I'm sitting in the hallway. Now I'm kind of getting mad. You know, I had a little temper back then. I'm kind of getting mad. But I want to be cool because it's Hollywood, you know. So I'm sitting in the hallway, and I just really want to, like, smash someone really bad. So I'm standing in there. So then the guy comes out and says, hey, I'm sorry, we can't represent you. But here's a show. It's called Phantoms. It's a karate show called Phantoms. And I said, okay. So what do you want me to do? He said, just show up. We're even, right? We're cool? All right, just sorry for the inconvenience. So I left. Well, Phantoms happened to be Power Rangers at the time.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was Power Rangers, and I went to an acting class. John Homa was his name, my acting coach, and I was in that class before all these guys were working. I mean, I can't even name the actors. They're all, like, big-time actors now. But I was at that little table, and I had to do my line, and everyone was like, who's Zordon? I'm like, I don't know. And they said, what are you reading for? I said, The Green Ranger. And they're like, what is it, a Forest Ranger? I was like, I guess. I don't really know. Maybe it's a Forest Ranger. I have no clue. It was like, you know.
Not
quite. I wasn't studying my character. There was no character study. It was like, what the heck's the Green Ranger? So I pretty much went on the audition, and I got a call back. And the only callback, I remember I was there with all this before Karen was the Yellow Ranger. I was there, and Twee was there, who was the Yellow Ranger, and all these girls. I was the only one there, and I was thinking, this sucks, because they can't decide if they want a guy or a girl. You know what I mean? I didn't know if they're going to hire a girl, so then I start thinking, I wonder if I should start taking all these girls out so I can get the role. No, I can't do that, because then I'll be on, like, forensic files, and I got to be cool. So then Haim Saban came out and said, hey, can you do me a favor? You karate. Or you karate, whatever, how he talks. And I said, yeah, just teach these girls karate. So then I start teaching them things. And then I start thinking, dude, I ain't even getting paid for this. I hope I get the role because I'm sweating and teaching. Well, come to find out, they didn't have any guy callbacks for the Green Ranger. I was the only one. So, of course, I booked the job, and then Twee booked the job, and then we both got booked together at the same time. And then it went into the whole Power Ranger world, which you had to convince the world that this is not just a cheesy show, that it's going to make it. So then my brother looked at it and saw it and said, dude, this show sucks. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, it sucks, dude. It's so cheesy, dude. It's never going to make it. And, of course, that's what a lot of agencies said. Ernie Reyes' agent, a lot of agencies didn't want to represent me because the show, they didn't think the show was going to go. Well, I booked the job, and now, of course, I got sued from the agency that wanted to represent me. And that was a long story, and represented myself in court and got it dismissed and won, and that was pretty much that.
Nice.
So that's how I became. That's the longest version I've ever said how I became a Power Ranger. But I'm going to tell you, I guarantee those fans, even Susan probably don't even know some of the stuff that I say because she's my Facebook representative. She takes care of everything, so I'm pretty sure I gave fans some new stuff there, I'm hoping.
Yes.
So that's
only
how
here on
I became
Unscripted Radio.
Only here on Unscripted Radio, nowhere else.
They're tripping.
Because I feel comfortable with Karen because I worked with her. All these other people, I don't know. I don't feel too comfortable with them. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Karen
Thank you
knows
for
me
sharing
anyway.
that.
She knows how I am.
I do.
She knows after I'm like, all right, guys, let's go. Cut. Oh, dude, come on, let's get out of here. It sucks, dude. I'm just kidding. you know when they say and cut. Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. That's
Karen,
me. That's how I
that's
became the Green Ranger.
Yeah, Jason is like the master of pranks. Like, we probably have a million stories of Jason pulling pranks on us, doing something, taking off with the jet ski when we're supposed to, like, sit there wait for that. Like,
yes.
So bad. He was like the bad kid on set.
Yeah, and I was the only one that did not have any keys either. I remember all my vehicles, nothing had keys. I remember going to Jonathan's office, kind of like just frustrated, mad, shut the door, kind of walking back and forth, kind of tweaking, looking outside, seeing if there's helicopters or nothing. You know, I was just kind of, what am I going to do here? I'm so mad, but there was nothing. You know, it's Hollywood. It was just what you got to do, got to deal with. You know, and I was a kid growing up on that show, and you know, I remember tons of stories, and me and Steve kind of went at it a couple times. That's when Steve, he's a good jiu-jitsu guy now, Steve Cardenas. I give him credit for being a great jiu-jitsu guy, but I remember when he came, it was like, I'm doing jiu-jitsu. I was like, dude, who cares? Jiu-jitsu. Who cares? Yeah, this new, I was like, who cares now? You know, of course, I'm a purple belt now, and Steve outranks me in jiu-jitsu, so I think it's funny. But we all had a good time, but you got to make it fun and exciting on the show, and you know, cover all the holes in the walls with pictures in your dressing room, and you know, hide that kind of stuff, you know, stuff like that. So,
I know only the guys had holes in their dressing room.
Yeah, we did. A couple times probably. Just little temper tantrums, stuff like that. Well, I do remember though, I was shooting that movie with David Coachworth, and I know I never told this story before, and I will mention his last name. I don't know what he's doing. He's probably doing big films, but we were shooting that dumb bow scene thing in the middle of that pit at nighttime, that night shoot, and I had to do that bow kata over and over and over again. Remember, Karen, Jeff Amata was the one who was directing it, and we had to do take after take after take. I was getting so frustrated that I was thinking, you know, we work with directors that shoot little things at a time. They were master shots over and over again. I mean, literally, like, take 32. It was at the point where it was the nighttime. And you remember David Coachworth on that show?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I remember I went to I was like, dude, I'm done. I'm done shooting this. Dude, it's 32 takes. I'm frustrated. It's like 4 in the morning. So I went to go close my dressing room because they all, you know, even though it was a kid's show, I think they treated us like kids sometimes. That's how I
Yeah.
felt. Even though it's a kid show, I'm not a kid. I was like a grown man, have my own business. Don't treat me like a kid. But I was closing my dressing room door, and he kept trying to pull it open. I said, dude, I told you, give me a second, I'm done. So I closed it, he opened it. I closed it, he opened it. I closed it, he opened it, and I threw my White Ranger boot out the door. I was like, dude, I told you, I threw my boot. I know I sound like a brat, but who cares? It's Karen's show. So I threw my boot, and I heard, you ain't never working in Hollywood again. I swear I'm not working. David Coatsworth, I remember him. Remember him well, and I'm sure he'll remember. What's the stories on? Well, the White Ranger threw his boot at me one time. I wasn't throwing it at him. I just threw my boot because it was something to throw, you know. So,
yeah.
And I wasn't having a temper tantrum. It was just, remember that scene was terrible.
It was
terrible.
Just too much. It was too much.
Yep,
Jeffrey, you sure are quiet over there, Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Soaking it all in. There's so much going on right now.
He's like going, dude, the White Ranger threw his boot. I don't even like this guy no more. What happened? all of a sudden, your chat line starts losing numbers. Ding,
right,
chat line off.
No.
Ding, ding, ding.
They're like freaking out. They're like so excited you're here. So, you know, this is the question I have. I know that you've done amazing things, and everyone kind of wants to know when did you decide to go into MMA, and like how did that all come about? And they want to know about what you're doing now.
Okay. Honestly, I was reading a magazine one time about Forrest Griffin, and I was reading a magazine in a shop one day, and I liked his interview a lot because he's a really down-to-earth guy. He's funny. He will tell you literally after his fight, sorry, guys, I suck. I fought like crap tonight. I mean, he'll say stuff like that. So he's a really down-to-earth guy, and I was reading a magazine, and I read a magazine. He said, you know, he started this for fun, and then he said, well, they said, why? And he goes, I don't know. I just like punching people in the face. It was just fun to me. And I've been in karate my whole life, and because of the show, you know, I wasn't able to skydive. I wasn't, you know, even when they had the skydiving scene, I wanted to kind of do stuff. Me and Johnny weren't allowed for that. My contract said no tattoos. So pretty much everything my contract said, I do now. But anyway, it was like the rebellious thing. Oh, yeah, I'll show you. No tattoos, my whole body. Anyway, with the contract saying no tattoos and skydiving and stuff like that. So I just kind of read that magazine, and then I was thinking, man, I kind of want to fight for fun. But the business in MMA is much like Hollywood. It's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of crap talking. There's a lot of you're not this, you're not. It's just too much egomania stuff out there, you know. So I got hooked up with my manager, Sucker Punch Entertainment, and had, you know, some amateur fights, and, you know, did good at that. I had like 6 amateur fights and then a pro fight, and it just, I think the industry, it kind of launched my you know, fans and stuff like that wanted to see MMA, but then movies came about, like the One Warrior that Tom was shooting with James Russo, who I should forget his name because he called me a different name every day on set, but with James Russo, he called, and they wanted an MMA fighter, and they wanted Rich Franklin, who's a well-known UFC fighter. And then they were going to offer it to Rich Franklin. I said, man, this is what I do. I'm an actor. No offense, but those guys aren't actor. I know Gina Carrera, who did Haywire. She's a great, great fighter, but they dubbed her voice. And when you dub your voice in Hollywood, that's a pretty bad thing when you get your voice dubbed. But I said, let me get the job, you know. So they wanted to audition me, and I refused, of course. I didn't want to audition, and they said, we'll fly you here. And, of course, again, I refused to audition just because I hate that. I do. I just give me the job, and I'll do the job. You know what I mean? I don't want to go through the, you know, taking off my schedule and giving out a whole weekend and flying to Alabama. And so I kept saying no, and then, you know, give me the job and all this other stuff. And then we started the Facebook, you know, my manager Brian, and then Susan started so we got about 5,000 fans, and that was about when we had about 5,000. So then the director said, yeah, okay, you got more fans than he does, so we'll do you. So it opened the doors for opportunities. The same director I'm working with in May is doing another film, like an FBI movie, so he's doing another film that he wants me in. So it kind of opened the doors for that. But really, Karen, I was fighting because I loved it, you know. And then you go behind the scenes and you start hearing what Hollywood kills. Hollywood killed me because it's nasty behind the scenes in Hollywood. It's cutthroat business.
Right.
It's just a nasty business. You know, they're two-faced to your face. They say one thing, and it's just welcome to MMA. MMA and Hollywood should just merge together because that's what it's all about, and that's just what's a big turnoff for me. It was just the Hollywood business was like just the behind-the-scenes people. I remember I was at a thing with Saban, and I had some friends at a party come with me, and this is when I first started the show. Well, they were rude to my friends, like really rude, but then they found out that, you know, they were Jason David Frank's friends, so then That I still wasn't Jason David Frank at the time, but I was Jason Frank. And then I just threw my middle name because I want 3 first names. But then they found out who they were, and then of course they were nice to him. And I just looked at that. I was thinking, man, why you got to be nice to him just because they know me? You should be nice to him just because. So that business was a lot like that. So I want to work with the people that I enjoy working with. I know I've been talking a lot to Johnny on a few things, and that I want to work with the people that I enjoy working with because I think there's the fans are there. Money's not a problem to be made, but I think you can make money as being an honest businessman like I am without cutting throats. Because now, don't get me wrong, I learned a lot from Haim Saban. Business is a cutthroat business. I mean, I'll open a school right next door to you. I don't really care. But I'm not going to say anything bad about you. I'm not. But I just believe in what I'm doing, and I believe in the passion that I'm teaching in my product, and I believe in it, and I think all else comes. A lot of people in business talk about this person, that person, but they're not paying attention. It's like if they were in war, they're not sharpening their sword. So the more they talk about someone, they have a dull sword. So when it's time to fight and it's time to win the war, I just feel like I'm sharpening my sword all day.
You look like you don't have a dull sword.
Sharp. And when it's time to fight, you're just going to slice some people in half. That's just how I feel.
Excellent. Well, I hope that you've got your sword sharpened for right now because we're about ready to open up the floodgate of callers, Jason. If you're ready,
I can handle it. I'm actually looking at a samurai sword right now, but I can handle it. I really am. I'm sitting in my office and as I'm talking about the sword, I'm just looking at the sword because that's how I got the idea.
Katrina excited.
I'm ready.
You gotta simmer down.
I know. Relax.
Let's do this. So we're going to try to move through as many of these as we can. The first one we've got on the line is Lonnie. Lonnie, what's your question for Jason?
Hey, my birthday's on Saturday, and I can't make it to Kentucky. So this is kind of a big treat to be able to ask him a question.
Sure.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm a big fan. Your Skype training, what style do you teach, and can you advance in rank when you're training that way?
Yeah, I'm going to – listen, I just got done with Shay and Bradley today doing Skype lessons right before this. That's why I was running late. I'm going to be honest with you. I was so worried about doing a Skype lesson. I was thinking, God, it's kind of weird, like, hello, and they're like, hello, hi. It was just kind of weird, But I'm going to be honest. That Skype lesson worked just as good as if you were in front of me because all the angles, the camera, I couldn't believe how great it was. I worked with Shay today. It was his first lesson, and he did a fantastic job. I know he can vouch for the Skype lessons. You can advance in rank. You just have to, of course, I don't give out rank. That's one thing. It takes, 6 to 7 years to reach black belt here. I don't charge testing fees, never have, never will. But you can advance in it, but it's going to take time. Mat time is very important, and when you're doing Skype lessons, I'm going to be honest, I don't mess around. I don't want to waste too much time on questions and answers. We're going to get down, we're going to sweat, and we're going to work out. So the form of martial arts I teach is an American blend, and you can research that and go on my website, Rising Sun Karate School, or what is it? What's our website? RisingSunKarateSchool.com. Sorry, I got too many. And you can read about the styles. But, yeah, you can definitely advance on the Skype lessons.
Excellent. That's a.
Now, wait, Mike, before we get to the next
question.
caller, we've got a question from the chat room. We promise we'll get to them, too, so let's try to alternate. Jason, the question from the chat room is, what was your favorite color Ranger to play?
Favorite color is green. I would just say green because it was evil.
Awesome.
Nice. All right, Michael, you take the next caller.
All right, excellent. So let's move it along, and I've got Sydney on the line with us right now. Sydney, what's your question for Jason? Sydney, can you hear me?
I'm just wondering how you've been since, Dino Thunder,
Karen, what's that?
How have you been since Dino Thunder, he said?
Oh, I've been pretty good. I've been feeling pretty good, I don't have Zords hanging around, but other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still kicking and punching and doing all the things that I love to do. So it was good working on that show, and it was good.
Awesome.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sydney, for that question. Jeff, do you have another one from the chat room for us?
I don't yet. So, guys, keep your questions coming in the chat room, and I will ask Jason for you. But until then,
I have a question.
Oh, I bet you do, Dirty.
Oh, no, I'm scared. Can we move on to the next question?
This will be a behaved question. Are you going to Morphicon this year? And I have an ulterior motive in asking you because I was going to go visit Karen. Will you be there?
I definitely want to go to Morphicon. I mean, it's not 100% confirmed yet. I have talked to Scott, though. I do have the contract. It's just a few things that I'm working out in my schedule to be able to. But it looks like at this point I'm going to be able to, because I love City of Angels, and I miss California deeply. So I do want to come out there. And I actually enjoyed it last time. It was a big old reunion. I'm not used to Blake being so big, but he's growing up now. And, so I had a good time, so I'm hoping to be out there, so that'd be good.
So I have a funny story, Jason. Like, we play Power Rangers all the time, and the guys on the show, I told them, I left the show, and I kind of told them the reason I left the show or whatever, and they didn't believe me. They seemed to think that you and I had a secret love child, and they said, yellow and green make blue, so all of a sudden I leave the show, and then here's this kid, Blake, who's the Blue Ranger. And I tried to tell him we never had anything going on.
Hey, but I can understand where that question came from, though. That does make sense, because there's been a time on the show that I probably blacked out for about a week, and I did wake up, and Karen was like, "Oh, here's your wardrobe," and I was like, "Well, what happened? How did you get in here?" It was weird. But, I think it was before I saw the movie about movies.
I knew it.
It was like before
Girlfriend, I am not mad at you.
Yeah, we all went out partying, and then I just don't know. I remember the last thing I heard is say that we're Wolfpack, and we're here in Las Vegas searching for cocaine and hookers. No, that's from the movie. Okay, sorry.
What?
No, I don't think Blake would be our child.
Right.
See?
No,
I never heard that, though, out of my whole entire Power Ranger career. I've never heard that before.
Right, well, that was these crazy people on this show.
That is a unique story. Lots of unique things are happening on your radio show, Karen.
I have another question.
Y'all hooked up.
Speaking of children, how do you feel about being addressed as or thought of as a DILF?
A DILF?
Oh, my. Oh, boy.
DILF.
Dad,
man.
I would like to.
DILF.
If it's
a
MILF,
flirt with. Dad, I'd like to flirt with.
I never really heard that. Well, I actually heard the saying before, but I don't know. I don't think I'm a DILF. I mean,
I think so.
Yeah.
The people in the chat room agree with her.
Thank you. Exactly.
Let's take another caller before we get X-rated.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Katrina,
good idea.
Go take a cold shower or something. Seriously. All right.
I got a bucket of ice. I'm putting it on right now.
Snap a few photos and upload those to our X-rated Facebook page. All right. So let's see. I've got Brianna on next. Brianna, what's your question? How's it going?
Hi. My question
How are you?
is for Jason. I'm good, Jason. How are you?
Good.
Okay. First off, I have a message to you from Blake. And he wants you to know, West Side.
West Side? Throw it up for Blake. West Side.
And my question for you is, have you ever had any fans who have any sort of disabilities that have come up to you at MorphinCon or any sort of Comic Con and told you that they take karate now because of you when people told them that they would never be able to do it?
I do. I actually had that. It's very funny because we've had several ideas with a couple fans about some script ideas like that. But I'm going to tell you, even before Power Rangers, even my brother, he passed away and stuff, but my brother would always teach people in wheelchairs. I remember it was hard, but he would do it. I remember lifting one kid out of a wheelchair, doing rising blocks with him. And when I asked him about it, he goes, I'll teach anybody. My brother was like that. It wasn't for the money. It was just because he felt like those disabilities held him back. I think there's no such thing as when a doctor tells you you can't do something. Because I broke my foot skydiving. My foot was completely thrashed, torn up. They said I'll never have 60% back in my foot. I have 100% now. I don't believe in what they would tell you, like you can never do this or never do that. I feel if you're passionate about something and you want to do it, just do it. And, I've had a lot of people come up and tell me those things before, so I feel pretty honored that it gives them motivation and the confidence to go out there and pursue their dreams regardless of your disabilities.
Exactly. You said it very well.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Well, we have another question from the chat room,
Yes.
which I guess I swear this is like Katrina chatting with somebody else. A question I saw that kind of struck me. They want to know if you're a boxers or briefs man.
Boxers or briefs? Well,
or
I
commando.
like, the long Calvin Klein underwear, like go down to my knees, kind of like, not the boxers, but like I have to, because, look, all right,
the dual.
because I
break it down.
I can't be
break
wearing
it down.
loose boxers. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you that. No one asked that question. Because of kickboxing, I have a loose gi. I can't wear boxers. It's just it hurts. So I got to wear the tight, down on my knee underwear tighties. Not the tighties, but the cool ones, like the Under Armour.
Right.
Like the ones I can fight in. You know what I mean? Like if people make fun of you fighting, I don't care. They're comfortable. I don't care who makes fun. So they're comfortable.
It's okay. You still look good rocking your grandpas. It's fine.
They're not grandpas. They're the new stuff. No way. They're not grandpas at all.
No.
Joking.
I think.
All right, look, I'm going to send everybody a picture, all right? I'm going to prove to everybody right now.
Yes, please. Yes, get right on that.
Let me give you my number.
Right down. All right. Oh, here we go. Now it's hit the can. I knew it was going to happen tonight, kids. I knew we were going to
We tried to tame her.
We're getting to be out of the prime time slot, so it's okay. We can get a little more X-rated.
Lord.
This is my behaved, toned-down version.
It actually is. I have to
really
give her credit.
She hasn't swore. She hasn't talked about. I can't even say it. I'm a little nervous. I don't want Karen to bitch slap me later.
Precisely. Ultimately, I'm afraid of Karen because it's the nice ones you got to be afraid of.
Wait, what? You're the blunt ranger. You can say whatever you want, man.
Right. Right.
Well, and I've just said it nicely. There you go.
Exactly.
She's being a professional. But let's bring on, I've got Lance with us. Lance, what's your question for Jason?
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you if there's any chances that you're going to ever write your memoirs.
Good question.
That's a good question.
Karen?
Yes. Are you going to write your memoirs, Jason?
I don't
You
know.
going to write a book, a tell-all book about your life?
You know what? That's been out there. I started writing a book, Toscando book, about the martial arts and stuff, and had someone. Man, if I felt comfortable about my book, I think I would. Because it's funny that you say that. That's why I was thrown off. Because my brother, we always used to do crazy things, and we used to say, "How's the book end? How does the book end?" You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, he's still out there with me. But his book's over, but it's not over. I'm still here and still doing stuff for him. But I've lived a crazy life. I mean, I am who I am, and I think God's changed me in certain ways. So I think a book sometime would be good. I don't know how honest I can be in the book. I mean, I think that when you write a book, you got to be like really truthful and honest about your book. But I've been through a lot of stuff and still going through a lot of things. But I think if you're honest with people, and there's a lot of things, if you're honest with people, I think, they're either going to judge you or they're going to commend you and say you did a good job, thanks for being honest, or they're going to judge you. Oh, I knew it, So books are very touchy. It's a very touchy subject, Either you're going to earn fans or you're going to lose fans, And my book is not just a peachy cover where, I've been through a lot of bad, dark places before, I mean, my best friend, killed himself. My brother, died, and all in the same month. There's just been so much. That's during the show. It's just crazy stuff going on. And, I think that everybody in life, unfortunately, even today, it's one of those bad days for me. It don't sound like it. The worst days I get sometimes, the crazier I am. That's just the way it is. But I think people sometimes pick that mask up before you leave the house and you put that mask on. Because let's face it, if you were honest with how you feeling today? I feel like crap, dude. What do you mean? Where you at? I feel good. No, you don't. You don't feel. How you feel? You upset? No, not. Yes, you are. So let's just like being honest with everybody. But unfortunately, you can't. Hey, do I look fat in this pants? Yeah, a little. I mean, what are you supposed to say? No.
I remember not to ask you that one.
I'm just saying. If life was all about honesty, it's either they're going to appreciate you for being honest or they're going to think you're an a-hole. So a book for me would be, I don't know how that would go. I would love to one day finish a book for me, for my brother, because we'd always say, how does the book end? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but the ending of the book is just the beginning, if that makes sense.
Right.
Of course it does.
Well, you know what I'll say? I will say this about Jason, because I had the pleasure of being, working with him, but also becoming his friend, and we would be on set, and we spent more time together than we even did with our family. So it was an amazing and crazy experience. But one thing about him is he is completely honest, but his heart is so genuine, and he's one of the nicest, most genuine people you'll ever meet. And I'm not just saying this because you came on the show. I honestly 100% feel that way. And the first day I met him, I'll never forget, we were at Castaic Lake, and he came up and he just smiled. And we knew, like, he was the leader of the show, and he was, and him, Amy Jo, David, they all made us feel so comfortable, and we had the time of our life, you know. And for me, I had personal reasons to leave the show, but one thing that, you know, I'm still pissed at them about is they promised me, you know, 10 episodes, and I thought I'd be able to say goodbye to my, you know, spend time with them, say goodbye to them.
Yeah.
I didn't even get that opportunity. But you know what? After it was all said and done, I was like, I'll never, you know, can replace the time that we had together. And I know that friendship, it's like we're almost a family. Like, you're a family outside of the family, but it's this Power Ranger family. And I think if you ever did the book, it would be the most amazing thing you probably would do. I know you have to get to a place where you're comfortable with it, but, you know, your honesty is what people love. Yeah, you keep it real. And you're like a success story. I mean, if people knew half of the things that I know, and I don't even know half of the things, they would be like, wow, you know?
Yeah, but the good thing is, see, you already know my heart. You know, if I'm grouchy one day on the set, you already know that's not me. It's just it's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so you know my heart, I know your heart. That's why we're friends and all that, and that's why you know, it doesn't feel like such a long time, and you know, it feels like it was just yesterday talking and all that stuff. So of course everyone gets grouchy, and we have our bad days. You know, and there's been my own bad days that I've had. You know, in life that people try to blow up in publicity. It's just stupid. It's like, if you knew my heart, I'm a guy. I have to read a book that I was just referred to. It's a Christian book called Boundaries. I haven't read it, but it's to set boundaries. I can't set boundaries. I have a hard time saying no to people. That's why I'm working 24/7 trying to please everybody. But, you know, and then when you got one fan that says something, and then you got to be reminded by other fans, it's okay. That's just one person at 50,000 that made some kind of dumb comment. You know what I mean? So I try to please people. I try to please myself, try to please God. But I appreciate you saying that, Karen, because I know you know my heart. And,
I do.
You know, since you do, it's like people can go through every day. You know, when my brother died and my friend died, all that stuff, people expected me to be this, I'm going to meditate. It was too hard for me. It was like within 2 weeks. My brother called and said, hey, how did he do that? Oh, I can't believe he didn't. He did. It was just one of those things where it was like, what? You know, is this really happening to me? And everyone just didn't think I was human. I was young at the time. You didn't think I was going to go off and just do bad stuff. Not bad stuff, but just be in a depressing state. I was. But I got out of it, you know. And look, the cloudy days of rain, they come with all of us. I think all of us try to disappear from those cloudy days. And when we walk at home or at night, that cloud's going to somewhere be there. If you don't have a cloud over your head of anything, then you're living in fantasy land, because everybody has clouds of doubt, clouds of frustration, clouds of depression, you know, clouds of not wanting to be here. If you don't recognize what your cloud is above your head, then you're living in la-la land. And, you know, la-la land doesn't exist. Angel Grove is not always there 100% of the time.
Right.
You can live in la-la land half the time, but the other half you got to recognize what cloud's above my head. And unfortunately, I do recognize the clouds above my head. I just have to tame them. That's why I skydive. I go above the clouds so I can get away from the clouds. But, you know, I'm just saying that, you know, not to get deep or anything, but I just feel that that's what everyone does. And anyone and this is why I think I can relate to a lot of people or fans or other people or even Karen, because you're down to earth. You're a down-to-earth person. I'm not greater than anyone. I'm not holding myself up more. I don't even consider myself a celebrity, because I don't. I mean, I'll walk into places and I forget sometimes. You know, I was in Orlando with my little girl, and that's right. Did you see that on Karen? Did you see the Yellow Ranger? I was like taking a picture at Orlando Hollywood Studios.
I did.
Your costume was there. I was like, oh yeah, baby. My costume wasn't there, but you know, the pink one, her costume was there. My little girl, you know, was like, oh wow, you know. So I forget those things walking around, you know, everyday life. I forget if I cut somebody off and be nasty, they're gonna know who I am, because everybody knows me out here in Houston. You know, you forget. You gotta. Right. I don't walk around like on eggshells. I just speak my piece and say what I have to say. And if something bad happens, which it doesn't, if you look at my career in the history of what I've done, okay, a couple bad things here and there, a couple fights here and there, maybe, that turned bad because that person turned it bad, not because I did. They don't hear my side of the story. It's not that bad. You look at all the other actors. I was watching a thing on he's 38, he died of asthma. Anyway, all these actors that get into drugs, and, you know, I'm not out there, you know. I mean, right now, I'm not.
Right.
I'm not going to be, but I'm just saying that, you know, I got a pretty good rap record, history report, you know, and so I try to keep that clean, but I don't even think of me as a celebrity or anything like that. And I think, Karen, that's why you were so good on the show and so loved, is because you had that natural charisma, because I don't think people can, this is the honest truth, you can learn how to act, but if you don't have charisma, you're not going to be a good actor. Charisma can't be taught. Charisma is you got to be born with it. And I think everyone has a certain charisma for their profession of the field. If it's radio, TV, working at Starbucks, whatever it is, it's it's that charisma that they have that goes with their profession of the business. My charisma is with martial arts. I mean, and acting. I can do martial arts. I can do acting, no problem. And fighting. That's so easy for me. But it's what my charisma is that tracks me to my my profession. And if anyone listening to this line that feels that they're not attracted to their profession, they need to do something that they want to do right now, or it's going to be too late. You're going to be talking to me and say, "Well, Karen, I wish, I fought when I'm 76 now. Thanks for. Am I still a DILF? Am I still a DILF at 76? Oh, you'd be like, oh, heck no.
I would say yes.
I mean, before it's too late, you're going to have to chase your dreams and say, you know what, I did that. That's why I do the things that I do, and skydiving is a passion of mine. I want to compete one day in skydiving. I want to be the best there is. It's going to take a long time to do that, but it's a passion of mine that I want to do, and it's probably one of the senseless sports, falling in the air, that you can use out in real life, but for me, it's what I like to do. I'm a risk taker.
Excellent.
There you go.
Are you scared? Like, doesn't your stomach, go up into your throat when you skydive? Like, I think I'd have a heart attack doing it.
No, it doesn't. You know what? A lot of people have that perception of skydiving where when you jump, you're going to get that roller coaster feeling. Not at all.
Yeah.
You're the plane's going 80 miles an hour. You jump out of that plane, you're floating. You're skydiving. And I skydive. On my Facebook picture now, there's a guy by the name of Stephen Boyd, one of the best skydivers, man. I watch his skydiving videos all the time. He's one of the best. He's got 8,000 jumps. He's phenomenal. He's like a world champion, but he's so humble. I've jumped with him so many different times that he just came aboard, and he's such a humble guy. But you have that. He owns the Spaceland Skydive Center, and a lot of people think you're going to be out there. Well, his dad owns it and his brother too.
Right.
But, you think you're going to go and drop. It's not like that at all. I mean, if you ever wanted to fly like Superman and not have that roller coaster drop, skydiving is the thing to do. The only thing you got to worry about is if your parachute opens, but that's why I do it. Nothing exists. You think when I'm in that plane, I'm not thinking about, no offense, Karen, but I'm not thinking about I was supposed to skydive today. I wouldn't be up there thinking, I got an 8 o'clock appointment with Karen. Parachute. I'm up there thinking, all right, dude, here we go. Bam, let's go. Bam, throw that chute. Open my parachute. I don't think of anything.
Right.
Phones don't exist. Nothing exists. And it's in the zone. And there's only 2 places I get that. No, not sex, if you're wondering that. Okay, it's a different kind.
I was.
In the cage, and in the air. You just zone everybody out.
I'll put you in a
Nobody
cage.
exists. In acting, I would say that 3 in acting. When you act, nobody exists around. Me and Karen would do a scene. How many people behind the cameras eating sandwiches, talking stuff, joking, and then they're like, action. Nobody exists except that character in front of you. And I think that being in that zone is what I need in my life, to tone out everybody else. Not just I want to ignore people. We just need that peace and quiet to get into that zone. In acting, I do it. Skydiving and martial arts, I'm just into the zone.
Right. Awesome. Well, let's take one last question. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I heard that when a lot of people go skydiving for the first time, they lose control of their bowels. Have you seen anybody do that?
No, I haven't. I mean, I'd be look. I got a couple fighters here that used to fight with me and train. Okay, they're bad. They're bad in the ring. They're like badasses in the ring. All right, I took them skydiving. They threw up over everyone. Both of them threw up. I've never seen that before. People in the bathroom were like, "Dude, who brought those guys?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
That's me.
That is disgusting. But they threw up. I don't. It's a state of mind. Like, look, if anyone's scared of heights or scared to do it, a lot of people, their fear stops them from doing it. I think you all will agree. Well, I'd never jump out of a perfectly good airplane. That's just fear speaking. You have to face your fear sometimes and get past that. And I know a lot of people are like, well, why jump out of an airplane? I'm telling you, I promise you, all my Power Ranger camp people that came out here, everyone skydived. And after I got down on the ground, oh my gosh, dude, it's like an experience that you can never experience in your whole entire life. If you have never skydived, do it one time and think, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Get past those fears and do it. You're going to be safe. There's not a lot of accidents that happen in skydiving unless you get stupid and crazy. And you got 2 parachutes, so if one doesn't open, the other one opens. And you're only going 140 miles an hour towards Earth, so you're going to be fine. Nothing will happen.
Well, you know what?
I would totally be down to try it. My only problem is getting on a commercial airline with a parachute on your back just in case, it doesn't go over so well. But I know we've got another caller. Aaron Coney?
Yep. Absolutely. This is we'll take our last caller for tonight, but you know what? I want to make a personal commitment on the 4 of us, Karen, Jeff, me, and Katrina. When we go to Morphicon, if hopefully Jason is there, I say we go skydiving.
Oh, I got to throw some balls for that.
Yeah, you got
I got to throw some
Hell
balls.
no. Hell
for real.
Y'all have lost your freaking mind.
Yeah, you got to. If not, just watch it. After you change
I'll
your mind,
watch.
people. That's the deal. I'm coming just for that. Watch. I just want to watch everybody. I'm coming.
Jason, if you're there, I will skydive.
Hey, man, I can't do it. There's a weight limit.
I got to throw some balls, Jason. I'm at the tandem with you. That's the only way I might do it.
That's fine. Yeah, you're going to have to start
I got an
anyway,
idea.
so
Karen gets the front and I'll take the back.
You're going to say something like that.
I want to be somewhere in there.
All right, Aaron, ask your question.
All right. Aaron Coney, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? First of all, Jason, I don't know if you remember me and my brother. He airbrushed you a canvas, and we gave it to you at Morphicon.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Not much. So I was calling MTV's Made. I don't know if you ever heard of the show. It's coming to my school in a couple of weeks, and I wanted to be made into an MMA fighter. So I was wondering if they chose me, would you be my maid coach?
Well, it depends where the fights are. I'll tell you what, though. Look, this guy painted where you airbrushed that oil thing at Morphicon, right?
Yeah,
MMA
they did one for me, too.
Thing. Hey, that was awesome, dude. First of all, they did awesome work. You guys did awesome. Because you did that for me, I will promise you this, okay? And I'll be on the air, and I'll promise you this because I can't say no to people. But if they choose you, I don't know how much entailed I can be as a main coach, but I can definitely work your corner for one of the fights and give you some tips and all that stuff. And, hey, it's great working the corner. Sometimes it's better working the corner than being in there. I don't have to do as much. But I will do that for you. I don't know if that helps, but I will definitely show up to one of your fights and work one of your fights corner. So,
I mean, the chances of me being able to take that slim, but that would be sweet, man, and I'll see you at Morphicon this year.
They picked us out of thousands of kids to be on Power Rangers, so, hey, anything can happen, Aaron, and I love you. Aaron's a great friend of mine and his brother Daniel, so thank you. He made me one of those paintings, too, so
Aaron.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
Still on the line? Hey, I owe you guys money. I haven't forgot, dude. I just forgot to pay you last time I left. I'll get that money to you.
I wasn't going to bring it up on the air in front of everybody. But,
I got it for you, dude. You guys left. It was such a busy thing. I don't forget anybody, dude. I appreciate what you guys did for me, and I'll definitely pay you back in any way I can if they choose you. When I hook you up, take care of you more for trust me, man. I don't forget people. That painting, it's not hanging on my wall, but it's in my office with all my other stuff, and I appreciate you doing that for me.
For sure. Say what up to my
I'm an
brother
honest guy. I'll mention
line.
it on the air, dude. You know me. I'll mention it on the air. I told you I don't hide nothing.
He don't.
You're right, man. Hey, it's all out there. So I'll see you in August, man.
All right, buddy.
Awesome.
Jason,
Aaron,
I want to personally thank you for coming on the show. We've got a crazy show, and we're building up our fans, and they're huge. Yes. They are huge Power Ranger fans, and I knew I've had Nakia on the show. I've had Steve, we've had Walter, Blake is coming on. This Friday, Daniel Southworth will be on the show, and I couldn't have all of them and not have you. So I'm so happy that you came on. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Anytime you guys need me to come back, I'd love to do it. Sorry I talk a lot, but this is a talk radio, and unfortunately I just talk, so it's what I do.
You let us know when you're ready to come back, and we'll have you on again because I know they'd love to hear from you again. So
yeah, I'm chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
I love you guys, too. I know. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate everything you guys do. And all the Facebook fans, I just want to shout out. I know Susan and Melanie's working very hard to control that page.
Shout it out.
I appreciate you guys working on that. And if you guys, on my Facebook page, if you are listening, support Karen's. I know you got a lot of things going on, and I always see that. And I think my fans do support you guys and all the other Rangers. So we appreciate it, guys, all the Facebook fans. And, we just appreciate it. So thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Have a good night, and I hope this made your day a little bit better.
Yeah, it did. It definitely made my day better. I appreciate it. I'll think about that book, too.
Oh, we will, yeah.
Okay.
Everything he said, if you guys didn't get a chance to listen, or if there's certain things you might have missed, listen to On Demand, because you can hear this episode all over again. You can download it. You can, listen, because Jason said some really deep stuff tonight, and he's such a great guy, and like he said, I know his heart. He's one of the best guys I know, and we love him.
Cool. Well, thank you. Okay,
Have
guys.
a good
We'll
night.
talk to you soon. Okay, good night.
Bye.
All right, thank you, Jason.
Bye.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, that was
Woo! That was
incredible.
amazing.
Fucking riot. I'm sorry I waited till he was gone, but I couldn't hold out all night. He is so much fun, Karen. Why have you been holding out, girl? We knew you were secret lovers.
That was
I'll take her leftovers.
So
That's
everyone
fine.
knows. Jason was married. I think he had a baby at the time. We did not have any secret love affair back then.
You're listening in the chat room. This is why she left the show so quick. Didn't get her 10 episodes leeway because she was pregnant with his love child. They shipped that bitch off to Indonesia or something.
Right.
Oh boy.
They're slinging a Jesus Don't Tab shirt. I'm telling you, it's happening.
I know. Oh my God, amazing guy, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
He's awesome.
So inspirational.
And I can't wait to go skydiving. We'll get Jeff up there.
Thanks for volunteering us for. You got to talk to us about that. Just volunteering us.
Yeah, the hell with you. Look at there are not enough drugs, alcohol, crack in this world. It's hard. I'm going to get on a plane to go to the Morphicon. If you think I'm jumping out of one, you've lost your mind, child. It's not happening.
Oh, it's
All right,
happening. You're not going to ruin my chances. It's happening.
No. Oh no, yeah. It'll be. We'll get you up there, Jeff. Come on.
There's a weight limit, okay? A weight limit.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my God. All right,
no. And I ain't going with Karen because she throws up when she fake skydives. I'm good.
Right.
Oh,
That's
Lord.
why I said she's in the front and I'm in the back. See? Did you catch that? Yep.
I caught it.
And where do I get to be? Do I get the side?
You get your own.
Yeah,
right.
you can decide. But, we're
Oh,
going to
this some bullshit. David Yost, paging David Yost.
Excellent. All right, well, we're going to table this discussion. I'm sure we're going to continue it again tomorrow night. We'll talk about some skydiving some more, but make sure you tune in Friday. We got to go. We're overtime.
Yeah. Support Katrina Johnson on Twitter. Support Grow Up Already on Facebook. And support Unscripted Radio.
Absolutely.
All of you.
And Katrina, what do we always say?
Take a little time to enjoy the radio.
Good night.
Everybody's in such a hurry for this show to end. Good Lord, what y'all got, a hot date or something? Who's going to meet up with Jason?
Me.
Bitch.
I'm going to Houston.
That's right. Catch up if you missed any part of tonight's show on demand by going to unscriptedradio.com and click on demand. Have a good night, kids. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't miss tonight's show. It's going to be a good one. Goodbye.
Bye.